because this president, you watch his administration get together, and it's always televised, and there's always
Isn't that
they're
great?
always the journalists are there all over the place, able to ask questions right there on to any of them,
and they are asking offhand, ad hoc questions. This is not scripted.
This is a dictator, they're saying?
That's not possible.
Nobody's ever done this.
Nobody has.
Ever.
Nobody has. Cabinet meetings were always done in private.
Joe Biden had his wife do one of these.
Yeah, because Joe was not capable of speaking. Oh, my God. But the point is, since we've gone on to that, Donald Trump's cabinet meetings have got the press in there.
Sure.
Every one of those cabinet secretaries can speak their mind openly. He doesn't care. It's a discussion, okay?
He wants to hear them.
To be. Yeah.
That's the one thing that Bill Mayer said about him. He had said 63 horrible things about him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he had them all typed up and ready to go. And he presents them to the president like he's supposed to react. And says, "Would you mind signing that, sir?" He says, "Sure." He signs it and gives it back to him. Okay.
Frame this and put it over your desk.
Look, I was expecting to have a bad thing happen here, and it wasn't like that. It was like, okay, I criticized him, and he says, "Well, that's interesting," and it wasn't like he says, "I couldn't see myself do this with President Obama
no, of course not,
or with Biden or any other president, even the Bushes." He says, I could see where I could relate to this guy, even though we didn't agree on everything. He wasn't lecturing me. He treated me as a person,
as an equal.
Yeah,
as an equal.
And what more can you expect? The left went crazy over this. How dare you?
Don't you just love it?
How dare you? How can you like this monster?
Okay, back to FEMA for a minute, because this monster's doing some good stuff.
Yeah.
This guy, Brian Donalds, filed a bill. Okay. We've got Hurricane Katrina, Ian, Helene, Milton, and there are claims still outstanding in FEMA for all of those.
Wow.
Claims still outstanding.
Yeah.
You put a claim in, it gets swallowed by this bureaucracy, and you probably never see it again. That's getting fixed. Now that we've got somebody at the head of FEMA who is actively working to make this right, these things are shrinking and vanishing.
Yeah.
There were, after Hurricane Milton, 900,000 calls to FEMA. 900,000. After that, half of them got returned.
Yeah.
What happened to the other half? Went in the bit bucket. Got a busy signal. We gave it to some call center in India. I don't know. But non-responsive. Yeah. And that is being turned around. I am so pleased about that. And the people in North Carolina who were waiting patiently for some FEMA response actually have response now. Yeah. They're moving the trailers in that they had staged and wouldn't give to anybody.
Right.
They're repopulating these places. Well, of course, the feds are now taking a hard look at this, and we've got the media taking a hard look at this. So there is some pressure on FEMA to act. Good. It was overdue.
Yeah, and what the amazing thing is let's use the egg example. All right, remember when Trump first got in, about 2 weeks in the all of a sudden, how come the eggs are so high, Mr. President? The eggs are so high, and you're the president. It's your responsibility. How could they be that idiotic? They were serious.
Oh yeah,
they weren't making this up as a joke.
As though the guy had as though he had a magic wand and could go plink. Okay, they're good now, but they've come back down. Now,
they're not talking about that though. See?
Not anymore. Of course not. But our economy is a massive thing. You don't steer that very quickly.
And you can't be upset about a day. I said this in the monologue. You can't be upset if you have a bad day in the stock market and then sell it all. That there's been a lot of proof to that.
Yes.
And I used to do that back 50 years ago, 30, 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Buy something, I'd make $2 on it and sell it. And then I started watching it. And I said, wait a minute, this thing is up now, like $25.
Mm-hmm.
I says, what's to stop it from going up? Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing except your stupid brain.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? Look, I think there's a way to do this, and I think Warren Buffett has kind of discovered this for the most part,
Mm-hmm.
and that is you buy and you hold. You may never sell it.
You buy a quality company and you hold it.
But companies go through phases.
Of course,
I can tell you, McDonald's stock wasn't always as high.
But look at the overall trend, Dave. It has always been up. Some perturbations,
right?
In there.
Well, that's where I give it. This is a stock market at the beginning of time, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which was in 1900s or late 1800s, I think. Yeah, and so it was always like this, depression like that,
Mm-hmm.
but up and up and up, and you know what? It's never changed. The history of the stock market has been always goes up.
2008. 2008, the
Bingo.
stock market took a hit.
I didn't sell.
No, of course not.
No.
Because that hit is going to be temporary, and it was.
When I needed cash at sometimes, I did have to sell some of it, but
the smart investor in 2008
but it wasn't,
looked at this thing while it was down and said, going to buy some more of this because I know.
Well, you try to call the bottoms.
And that's a tough one.
And I try that too. And I'm pretty well. I'm not bad at it actually.
Mm-hmm.
I've won a lot of stuff with it.
Yeah, but look at Warren Buffett. I mean, that's exactly what he did with Berkshire Hathaway.
Pretty much. And the guy lives in a house he bought for like $40,000 or something.
Yeah, he lives like you and I do. Yeah. He's not in some.
He retired.
Mansion. Yeah, he just
94 years old.
Walked away as CEO.
Yeah.
But still one of the smartest guys on Wall Street.
Yeah.
But the whole point is, if you've got a trend that is increasing and has done so historically for years and years and years, you don't bail out when it takes a negative turn. Are we going to have another crash like we did in the Depression? No, probably not. This thing is too big. It's too massive. Any downturn is going to be ameliorated just by the mass of the entirety of it.